You're sitting down, standing up right now, or lying down watching this, trying to make arguably the biggest decision of your life. Should you buy a house right now, New Braunfels, end of 2022, or should you wait until 2023? So today, we're gonna dive deep into this, guys, to help you make a decision. We're gonna have real-time, hyper-local information on this video. Information you're not going to find on Google or anywhere else, including up-to-date from the builders' voices themselves, information about whether or not prices will continue to drop the rest of this year and into 2023. If you guys are new here to my channel, thank you so much for hopping on, because every week we're trying to put out relevant content about what it's like to live in New Braunfels. Should you buy a house in New Braunfels right now, or should you just wait it out until 2023? Let's dig into all the information right now that'll help you make that decision. And let's start with our latest housing market report in New Braunfels. Our median home price is actually up from last month, but pump on the brakes here. We're not talking about thousands of dollars. We were at $379.9 in September, and now we're just at $380, so a difference of $89. And we've been up and down. Our median home price has been up and down in New Braunfels, guys, since we peaked in May at $384, $385. Well, let's dig a little bit deeper, and this is where things really get interesting. Days on the market. How long does a house in New Braunfels sit on the market before it's sold? In September, that number was 84. This month, that number is 90. So 6 days more on the market and almost 3 weeks more on the market before it sells than this time last year, which means buyers have more inventory. They have more available homes to choose from. I mean, take a look at this graphic, guys. We've doubled our inventory, more than doubled in 1 year. We're at 3.5 months of inventory right now of available homes for sale, and compare that to only 1.5 months last year at this time. So buyers have more options. All right, for a half second here, let's just zoom out a little bit and take a look at the macro level to see how it's impacting the housing market here in New Braunfels. Most of us are holding back. We're not spending money right now on major purchases, including homes. But is that an indicator or an answer of whether or not you should buy a home in New Braunfels right now before the end of the year, or wait until 2023? We'll get to that in just a second. But first, more key indicators that things are slowing down in New Braunfels and everywhere else. The Consumer Price Index increased in October, which means that the price of goods and services and big ticket items like food, transportation, and housing are up month over month, which means inflation continues. And because of that, the Fed is likely to raise interest rates again in November. Okay, all right, so what does all this mean? Well, let's zoom right back into the micro level here in New Braunfels. Homes are piling up, which means lower values, and buyers now are at the front of the line. One of our clients went under contract on this home for $315,000. The house appraised for $310,000. So the builder calls up and said, hey, can you guys make up the difference of $5,000? To which we said, knowing the market, no. And the house closed at $310,000, which was the appraised value. And this is, guys, this is happening more often right now in New Braunfels, where buyers are finally able to negotiate, which we didn't have that in 2021. Sellers and builders right now, they're sweating. I mean, just listen to this tone. This is the narrative. Listen.
If you have anybody, we're doing discounts. Contact me, and I can sell pretty much all over.
And that's coming from one of our new construction home builders. New construction is a big part of our housing market here in New Braunfels. Last year, you couldn't find a home, let alone a home that offered incentives or concessions. Builders couldn't build fast enough because of all the buyer demand here. This year, take a look. Residential permits are down in the city of New Braunfels, and builders here are finishing homes they started. But builders are not starting anything new until they get what's on the market, what's sitting on the market, sold. So really, they stop building. They're gonna finish what they started, but they stop building the new starts. Builders have more leads than sales, and right now they're just trying to keep people from falling out of contract because of rising interest rates.
Trying to save deals.
Oh, what's going on there?
Just, people that need to be in by the 7th of December, those kinds of things, trying to launch their rates, things like that.
What this means is that New Braunfels builders will continue to roll with their incentives to contract buyers. Builders are telling me right now that incentives and price decreases will continue the rest of the year and likely into 2023. And listen to this. Here is a really good indicator of that. We spoke a couple months ago about your builder wanting to close out everything by the end of year, and the builder doing whatever they can to make that happen. So how does that look right now?
We're probably not going to make it. Because I'm still sitting at that 25 mark, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I would love to get these sold this month and next month, but I don't see it happening.
You guys, are you going to have any deeper cuts the last couple months of the year?
I would think at the end of November, yes, because they want to close those that are going to be ready in December. So I think that's when you're going to see it.
We'll go up to $20,000 in closing costs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's outright. As long as I've been working, we've never gone that high for closing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the last 5.5 years. And then, you know, we took 15 to 20 grand off of a whole bunch of homes just so that we can market them in MLS for search criteria purposes.
I think buyers need to realize that most builders, or the builders that their year ends in December, November is going to be the strongest incentives for inventory, especially with pricing. So they need to just realize that the rate's not permanent, because the November incentive, it could be at its peak. So we can try and sell those homes.
Unless those homes just continue to sit throughout the rest of the year and into the first quarter.
Right. I mean, which they might. I don't know what we'll do at that point.
Fair enough. Builders say they don't know what's going to happen if homes continue to sit, but behind closed doors, they know what's going to happen. And what will happen if those homes continue to sit and pile up and collect dust without buyers, we will have those incentives and price decreases continue into 2023. So it begs the question again, should you buy right now in 2022, or should you just wait until 2023? So hopefully this information that we've given you so far helps you make that decision. But really, whether or not you should buy now or wait comes down to three things. Are you an investor? Are you a first-time buyer? Or are you a move-up buyer? So if you're an investor right now with mostly cash or all cash, there's tons of deals to be had right now. Take a look at this house. We contracted this house for almost $40,000 under the list price for our investor. Now, if you're an investor that relies on finance, right now probably is not going to be a good ROI for you, so you may want to wait. Getting back to the investor with all cash or mostly cash, you also might want to wait this out until 2023 when we could see more price drops. Let's say you're a first-time home buyer and you know you're going to be in the house 5+ years, 7 years or longer, and you can comfortably make the payment, then buy a house right now. However, if you're a first-time home buyer and you're just priced out right now because of the rates and you can't make that payment, then don't. You're going to have to wait, and that's understandable. When the rates were in the threes for a $500,000 house here in New Braunfels, your payment was about $1,800 a month. Today, at 7% and greater, that same $500,000 house is $1,000 more a month for your monthly payment. Let's say you're a move-up buyer, okay? And you have to sell your house to buy the next one. Well, you can just take those proceeds, most of them or all of them, and put them into your new one, so that may work out for you. Here's a tip if you're thinking about buying new construction here in New Braunfels. We have two types of homes. We have what's called an inventory home. Inventory homes are something you don't get to choose selections, the builder does. It's a quicker close though. And we have dirt homes, which you get to make all of your selections and the home takes a little bit longer. So if you're buying an inventory home, a quick move-in, just remember that you're paying for today's rate. So you're basically buying a monthly payment, and that may not be realistic for you. If you're purchasing a dirt home where you can choose your own selections, that build time is going to take longer, let's say anywhere from 10 to 16 to 18 months. And by that time, rates may have dropped, so it may be in your favor. You know, originally I wanted to give my 2 cents about the housing market here in New Braunfels, predicting that out for 2023, but I put on the brakes because there's just so much to consider, guys. I mean, we still have 9 million Americans who haven't claimed their stimulus checks, so that's possibly more money into the economy and more opportunity to inflate things. We have the Inflation Recovery Act. We have a strong job market. We have higher salaries. And the Fed just continues to really pump the brakes on the economy and slow things down so we can recover faster. And then we have the general election and the midterms and all that stuff comes into play, and there's no guarantees of anything. So the whole idea is to slow down enough where things are really softening up and you have all of the supply and not as much demand, which we're seeing in the housing market, but we need to see that in other places as well. The faster we see that, the quicker these interest rates will retreat. But I want to know what you guys think. Does this information on today's video help you out? Are you thinking about buying now, or are you going to purchase in 2023 or beyond? Let me know in the comment section below, and whether you choose to buy now or wait until later, like 2023 or beyond that. I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. You guys know the drill. You can email me, you can call me, or you can shoot me a text. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching our weekly videos, and we'll see you on the next one.